Good morning and welcome to Real Estate and Other Stuff on KHTS 1220 AM and 98.1 FM and on Facebook Live. I am your somewhat favorite co-host, Taylor Williams Moniz. Phil is not here in the studio today because he has a little bit of a cold, but Phil, I think you're there.
Just a teeny bit of a cold, just a teeny bit, and I
Poor
didn't want to give it
thing.
to you because you've got all your little regrets running around, and I didn't want, that would be bad.
I know, but you sound great. How are you? Other than that.
Well, actually, you know what? I wasn't feeling terrible, but then yesterday I played in a golf tournament that you told me that I probably shouldn't play in.
Yep.
And you know what? You were correct.
Well,
We teed off.
let's fill everybody in. So what time did this golf tournament tee off?
Well, first thing is I went to bed so early that I woke up at 3:30, right? And so I was kind of hanging out, and then I went out there at just before 6 a.m. and we teed off at 6:15.
And it was freezing, too cold.
It was cold. I had shorts on because I knew it was going to be, hot during the day.
Everyone in the studio is shaking their head right now, thinking about you with the cold, in the cold, with shorts on.
Yeah. And I felt bad because the guys I was playing with were kind of looking at me like, okay, you're sick, and I don't know why you're out here. And so, but I couldn't let the team down because it was a team thing, right? And so, but we didn't win the tournament. But for some reason, if you play in that tournament and you win like $15, 15.
Right.
It's like wow, it's huge. I won $70.
Wow.
And they had a big luncheon after that. I didn't go to it obviously because didn't want to get people sick. But the guy called me up and goes, "Hey, you won $70." I went, "How the heck did I do that?" So I still don't know.
Well, I'm going to come over and pick up a check. That's what I told you earlier.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. You get a part of that.
Hardly.
The thing is, though, it was funny because the very last shot that I made, it was on a par 3. I put it 19 inches from the cup. It almost went in the hole.
Wow.
So it would have been fun.
Good for you. Well, we do miss you in studio, but we're glad that, you're alive and everything's okay.
Yeah,
and we've got
you.
Thanksgiving is next week, right?
I know. Crazy.
How, right? It's so, just so quickly. What are you guys doing for Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving here on Thursday. We'll have a couple of. Well, I'm thinking we'll have my sister and my brother-in-law, and then we're doing a big thing out at my son's house on Friday.
Well, I'm just asking because Greg and I are going to bring all 900 of our children and crash your Thanksgiving. That's really,
okay by us.
Yeah, really.
But we have
why
to know
I was
because
asking.
we have to buy. Because I've got to go out today, believe it or not, and buy a bigger turkey. So
you're going out today to buy a turkey? No. Well, my daughters they drink milk, right? So they don't need a turkey. So you're fine. You don't need to buy anything else. And I'm kidding. We would never ambush you. Craziness.
But it would be okay.
Well, you're very sweet.
You just have to tell us how big of a turkey we need to get.
I know, right? So we've got a lot to get to today. And I think the fun part is I kind of get to decide what we talk about. Yay!
Yes.
Woo-hoo.
Yes, you can pick and choose.
I know. So good. Do you want to do some by the numbers? Maybe start there?
Sure.
And let us know what's going on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Can we get that stinger or no? No?
We just did it. We just got it. I don't think you could hear it, but we did it.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
so the callers can't hear that.
That's
interesting to know. That's good.
Yep.
Okay,
she just played it again. So
active listings. Yep. We have 484, which is interesting because we almost had at one time in the summertime we had almost 700.
Almost 700, right?
So now you would think because we only have 484, you got to ask yourself why is that? And I think it has to do with two things. Number one is I think it has to do with the fact that people are saying, look, I've got a 2 3/4 or a 3% interest rate. I decided I don't want to move into a 7% interest rate, which makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
Right? And things are still selling, though. Active under contract and pending is 221.
Okay.
And sold in the last 30 days are 207. So realistically, we still only have about 2, maybe 2.5 months worth of inventory.
But we've talked about this on the show before. Isn't the holidays typically a slower time in terms of listings and whatnot?
You know what? As far as people actually putting it on the market, yes. As far as business actually happening, no. It seems like the time that it really slows down is January and February.
Oh, okay.
Which scares me because I've got to put my house back on the market because I took it off because I had to go back back to Texas, and
Texas, yeah.
so yeah, so and I was
Okay.
going to put it on this weekend, but I thought, you know what, I don't, because it's by appointment or because I have to be here. I don't want to give anybody a cold, so
Right.
I decided to keep it off the market.
Okay. But so you're
Yeah,
saying we've got a month and a half or 2 months of inventory and that's it. Do we think it'll go?
actually, a little over 2 months.
Okay.
A little
Okay,
over two
two
months, like
months.
2.5 months,
Okay.
which is not a lot, which is good. I mean, I think that's good. And so it's one of those things to where I think there are certain things that are good that are happening right now.
Mhm.
Even though I feel bad when it comes to the way I feel right now, I think that we need to concentrate on the good. And here's one of the good things, right?
Okay.
The good things is the stock market has rebounded big time, right?
Okay. Yep.
That's a huge thing, right? And because of the fact that the inflation rate was rated from, it was before it was 8.4, then it came down to 8.2, then it dropped to 7.7. 7.7 means that the actual interest rates for housing went from 7.25 to like 6.64%. They're saying it's the biggest drop in I don't know how many years, which is
Which is
which is
good.
awesome, right?
Absolutely. Hey, we'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. Any good news is 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 good,
I think it's so
right?
interesting. Normally, when you're in the studio, we talk about bad news and Open Door and Zillow and evil, evil, evil. But when you're not here, you bring, good news, which
Maybe
makes
I
me
should
laugh.
not be there. Is that what you're telling
No,
me?
absolutely not. I'm just, it's a good news show. That's great.
So what else is the good news? NAR chief economist predicts
Economists.
a strong rebound
I was
in
about I was
2024,
about to
right?
say this dovetails into it. Yep. So
Yeah.
Lawrence Yun said home prices will rise 1% and sales will dip 7% next year before recovering in 2024. In contrast to a Fannie Mae forecast last month that predicted falling prices next year. So I'm interested in your take on this. But home prices will rise slightly and sales will dip next year before making a comeback in 2024. What do you think about that?
I think he's probably right.
So we have to
It's
wait until
interesting.
2024.
Well, yeah. So I'm going to take my house off the market till 2024, and I'll just not buy the other house until then, and see what
No.
kind of penalty that brings. Um, yeah. You know what? Realistically, it's one of those things to where this has to work itself out, and as soon as it does, everything will be back because there's so many good things about the economy right now, and it's unfortunate that the real estate industry had to take the brunt
Right.
of the them raising the interest rates, and they knew what was gonna happen, and
Which
they
we've
knew that
talked
it was
about.
going to be.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
so it's one of those things to where hopefully he's right when it comes to the strong rebound, and I do believe that we're probably going to go into a recession this year, obviously. And I hate to say it, but there are certain things that are good about a recession depending on where you're at, right?
Right.
So inflation is terrible for the people that are on a fixed income, right?
Right.
We know
Right.
that. However, the recession is good for people that are on a fixed income because then all the prices come back down. But the recession is bad for people that are working, that are trying to make more money, right? Because the fact the prices come down, sometimes their salaries come down and things like that. So that's a bad thing. But it's interesting that I think that as soon as the recession hits, that mortgage rates will actually come down, which is important. But
Right.
I think that, and that's what's going to bring us because the the values of the homes are coming down. You bring the interest rates down, and all of a sudden it peaks back up again.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Mr. Yoon, who's the NAR's chief economist, he said that he forecasts that home prices in 2022 would be up 10% year over year, right? Increasing a slight bit, and then 1% more in 2023, and then jump up to 5% in 2024. And he
Yeah.
said, quote, the prices will be mostly stable across the country in 2023, meaning that half of the country will see minor price gains, the other half of the country will see minor price declines. So more or less, I think he's saying it's going to even out, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's good.
And I think right now the the big thing when it comes to loans right now are the 5/1 and the 7/1 ARM, the
Right.
adjustable rate mortgage. Yeah, so they actually can or the 2/1 buy down. You can actually pay 2 points and it will buy it down 2% the first year, 1% the second year. And so a lot of the sellers are actually offering that to their buyers instead of lowering their price. They're just offering less when it comes to they'll actually pay for the 2/1 buy down, which can be expensive,
Which,
unfortunately.
right. I'm going to have you explain that more on our next show when you don't have such a sad sounding voice because I feel bad that you're talking so much. Poor thing.
I know I'm so sorry. I sound terrible. I
No.
get it. I
No.
get it.
But so
I'm
it sounds like things are
working it.
evening out, right? So that's good.
Yes,
So,
yes, they are,
so
which
hey,
I
did
love.
you see also that we talked about the NAR votes to end the use of the term handicapped in the Realtor Code of Ethics, which I think this is really interesting. So, the highest governing bodies of the 1.6 million member National Association of Realtors have amended the Realtor Code of Ethics to replace references to handicap with disability, which handicap is widely considered to be antiquated, if not offensive, said the committee in its rationale for the proposal and the board to delegate the body, which now they are using the word disability, which I think is great. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, is disability really that much better than handicap? And I understand the handicap is bad, right? I get that because it really is kind of derogatory. But
Yeah,
it's
nail on the
hard
head.
to pick a word. Disability is I guess is they used to actually try to fluff the other one by saying capable.
Oh,
Instead of handicapped, have
right.
handicapable.
Well, handicap with golf, right?
Well, that's the funny thing. I actually wrote this down. I said, "Golf, what's your disability?" instead of "What's your handicap?" And it doesn't actually flow when it comes to golf because your handicap obviously is if you play poorly, your handicap goes way up.
Like
Well,
me.
you can't say what's your disability in golf,
Right. Right.
because most people have plenty of disabilities when it comes to golf. Yeah,
Very true.
So
But I
anyway.
think it says the NAR Board of Directors passed the proposal overwhelmingly with 814 directors of 900 present voting in favor. So that's obviously what they wanted to do, which I think it makes sense.
Yep. Did you
Hmm.
see any of the comments after that?
I did.
Yeah. People were saying just exactly how many people actually voted on that actually have handicaps or disabilities. I mean, were we really represented? It was like, oh, okay, yikes. But I mean, it seems like it was all good.
I think so.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't. I mean,
Me too.
thankfully, I have many disabilities, exhaustion being one of them. But I don't. Not enough to have a handicap, right?
Let me tell you something. I think that you are Superwoman.
Hardly.
No, you are. Trust me.
Hardly.
It's amazing what you can accomplish.
Mm-hmm. Says
I'm
he with
serious.
shorts
I'm
and
serious.
it's 6:15 in the morning golfing. No, thank you. So do you want to go to another one or do you want to take because we got some lawsuits to discuss, which my
Oh, yes,
goodness,
we do.
are my
Yeah,
favorite.
also, I think the 10 financial don'ts heading into a recession, I think, is a good one. Okay, yeah, let's take a break, and
You
then
want to take a quick break?
we'll come back and hit it hard.
All right, let's do it. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Hey, good morning and welcome back to Real Estate and Other Stuff on KHTS 1220 AM and 98.1 FM and on Facebook Live. I'm Taylor Williams Moniz and we've got Phil on the phone. Phil, are you still there?
I think I am. I lived through the commercial.
He does. Thank goodness. All right.
Yep.
So, next thing that I want to talk about, an interesting article 10 financial don'ts heading into a recession. So, if it weren't so early in the morning, I would say, if I had a shot or a dime for every time I heard the word recession, right, then we would be in a state of collapse. However,
Right.
a lot of people are thinking, okay, recession is coming, which we've talked about, and what do we do to handle it? So this is 10 financial do nots heading into a recession. So I'm going to read them and then we can discuss your take on them.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
10
So,
guidelines. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Again, for some, a recession is terrible.
Right.
For some, a recession is great.
I know you
Right?
said that on the air the other week that you thought the recession was okay. And I thought we're not going to have a show after you make that comment because a lot of people don't understand that. But you're right.
Yeah, for
Hmm.
some it's okay.
Okay, so here is number one. Don't buy something because it's on sale. Retailers have sales to motivate people to buy things that they normally would not buy. Whether the normal price is too high or the specific item is not top of mind, sales are used to jolt buyers into buying things that they most likely do not need and, in many cases, cannot really afford. Thoughts?
I love this is don't get bitten by the sale bug.
Yep.
And then it says, and it's funny because this is what I'm going to be looking for as soon as I move an 85-inch screen
If my
for
husband is listening,
television.
he's looking at this also. Yes.
I want one of those.
Oh, no.
So
Most people
I'm going to
have,
get
yep,
bitten by
lived
the
in
sale
healthy,
bug.
satisfied lives without the item in question. And if they refuse to get bitten by the sale bug, will continue to enjoy a happy life, Greg, if you're listening, without the 85-inch screen or whatever else they think they need to buy.
Will we? Will we?
uh,
Is will we?
we're not buying an 85-inch TV. But I think this is true, right? I think retailers kind of take advantage of it. And yeah, you see something on sale
Oh,
that you
absolutely.
wouldn't have
But
otherwise thought about.
but that's part of the recession. The recession means that they have to lower the prices because everything's on sale,
Right.
and so that just means that that's great. But I told Judy with the house, I go, you can buy everything else that you want because we're taking no furniture or anything. I go, the only thing I want is my television,
Oh,
and I
no.
just want to make it like a movie theater. And I sold it to her like this: you don't want to pay movie theater prices, right?
Oh, you did
So let's
not.
just have a movie theater here at the house. We'll have surround sound, 85-inch, TV, and we can make it dark in the room and everything. So that was my sales pitch, and it worked.
I'm gonna call Judy later.
Oh, dang it! I
I
should
know,
have never
right?
told you that.
But so
Okay.
no, I think this is good advice. Don't buy something just because it's on sale.
Yep.
Number two, don't buy with credit. Credit is a convenient way of buying something now that you most likely do not need and pushing the responsibility for paying for it down the road. This is a big one, right? Bottom
Yeah.
line, you will need to maintain your cash reserves over the next couple of months to make it through the recession. If you cannot justify paying cash for it now, then do not buy it.
I'm curious to know. Excuse me. I'm curious to know if people actually understand just exactly how much more their credit cards are charging them
The
as the
interest.
interest rates go
Yep,
up.
absolutely. I don't think a lot
I
of
don't
people think about that.
I don't think they do at all. I think they're paying the same amount, and that's not a problem. But if
Right.
you owe $15,000 on credit cards, the amount that has gone up when it comes to the interest is astronomical.
Right.
So that's a scary thing for
Hmm.
everybody. Yeah.
Do you know what something that I've done? Have you ever seen like the Affirm or Afterpay? You can pay it like in four payments. So there's no like interest charged, but you can split it up between four payments. Like that's what,
No.
yeah. So then you're not getting
Huh.
interest, right? It's if you can afford it, yes, then you can do it at that time. It just makes it an easier way to buy. That's my thought. Credit cards scare the you know what out of me. I can't say
Yep.
the word because I'm not
It's
supposed to
funny when
cuss.
when we first got married, the only credit card that I could get, which was weird, was American Express, and I
Oh,
don't know
that is
why, but
weird.
they
That's
gave me a they
yeah.
gave me a credit card, and so we were so stressed when we started having kids. Like when we first had Chris and everything, we were so stressed that we went, you know what, we've got to go on vacation. We have to go to Hawaii, and we didn't have any money. And so it's like, no problem, we'll put it on a credit card. I've got American Express, we'll put it on a credit card. And so we came back and we realized, what, here comes this
The
$3,000
bill.
bill
Yeah.
because it was 40 years ago, right? $3,000 bill. And I called up American Express and I said, look, we don't have $3,000 to give you. Can I make payments on it? They said, yeah, that's not a problem. And I went, oh, thank you. So
Look
we
at
made like
you.
three or
Good
four
for
payments.
you. I didn't know Amex
Yeah,
did that.
yeah,
Wow. The
yeah. I didn't either.
the constant
So
negotiator. This is why people want you to list their house and to help them
exactly, and
buy a
that was
house
40
because you
years ago
will
when I had zero money,
get it
which
done.
was yeah.
Yep.
So
Okay, so number 3, don't buy something unless it is critical to your current survival, which for you was going to Hawaii, right?
exactly, yeah,
Unless it is a critical medical need or something similar, you should be able to survive without it. The little paragraph here talks about the difference between want and need. And oh my lord, if my father was listening to this, that's how he raised us. Do you need it? Do you want it? Right? Very important because there's a massive difference.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Wanting it is so much more than needing it.
I know, right? That's what I tell
I
Greg.
don't
I'm
need
like,
it,
I'm
but
gonna
I
buy
sure do want it.
something, but I don't. We don't need it. I want it. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to buy it. So that's good advice. All right, the next one. Don't buy anything new when used will do.
Ah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Yep. I mean, I think that goes with what? Cars. Strollers, kind of
Cars,
everything.
especially.
Yep. Yep.
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. So that's
And you know what? When they say you drive a car off a lot, it loses 25% of its value. And that's something that I'm going to think about when I actually move, because I have to get another car, because it has to be a different type of car, so that when you visit us, right, we'll have a car to
in
be able to.
Texas. No, you're not going to have a car. You're going to have a truck in Texas.
Well, that could be too.
Maybe not.
But I'm just thinking
Yeah. So
that
there you go.
maybe
Yep.
used,
Used.
or
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right. This one hits home if Greg Gugg is listening. Number 5, don't buy 2 when you need 1. And the author of this says, years ago, I heard someone joke about their purchases at Costco by saying, by buying bulk quantities of everything, I am saving myself into bankruptcy. Unless you are storing up for another pandemic, you probably do not need a 3-year supply of toilet paper. Greg Gugg. Or 900 eggs. If you've ever been to Costco and you buy like the flats of eggs, or like literally, I don't know, 60 eggs. Don't need it, right?
Yep. No, I've never been to a Costco. In fact, I actually had to look up BOGO.
You've
I said,
never been to
Siri,
a Costco?
no,
Wait,
I,
stop. Really?
no, I've never been to a Costco. I think we have one out here. I
Yes,
think
there
it's
is one
over.
out here. Absolutely. Oh my gosh,
I
I'm
think
sorry.
it's by the
Precious and I are
14th
laughing at
Freeway.
you. Yeah, it's
No,
off the
I know
14.
that sounds. I'm very sheltered in certain
You
areas.
are, my
Yeah.
goodness. Okay. Well, yeah, when
It,
you go in, like it's literally like 900 chickens, like all of their eggs are on this flat and you can buy all of them. And like Greg comes home with all of these eggs and I'm like, what are we going to do? Precious says she does the same thing. I'm like, what are you going to do with all these eggs? Yeah, it's you don't need them. Well, I'm going to have to take you to a Costco.
I had to ask Siri what BOGO meant.
Buy one, get one. We're laughing at you. I'm sorry. Today is the make fun of Phil day. I'm sorry. How
No,
do you
no,
not know what that means?
that's okay. I didn't. I was trying to figure it out. I was like, BOGO. I know what FOMO means, right? Fear of missing out. And I was thinking, okay, so
All right, you
probably
got
the
that.
O is out. Buy one, get one free. I had no idea. There's buy one, get one free, which actually sounds cool.
But you
I
don't.
like that.
No,
See, all of
you
these
don't
things,
need it.
I'm guilty of.
All right. Well
You know
then.
what? Hey, I tell Judy, hey, if we buy one, we get one free.
But you don't need. That's what it's saying. You just don't need the extra one, right? There's just no
Probably.
need. As we're talking
Remember,
about a recession, like you just don't need it. No.
again, it's strictly I want it.
As long as if it's like a buy one get one of like Parmesan cheese, then I would probably do that because we go through cheese like
Ooh,
we're crazy people at my house. But no, okay,
yep.
all right, on the list,
What's
taking
next?
you to a Costco. Ugh, don't buy the most expensive version.
Oh.
Hmm.
Huh.
So think about this. You have 2 different kinds of toilet paper. You want to buy the expensive one because it's expensive. You don't need to,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Just
Yep.
because it's the expensive one, nope.
But this is interesting because I think that you don't know when it comes to what they're trying to tell you when it comes to Timex watches and Bic Pen commercials.
Right.
I don't think that you know it takes a licking and keeps on ticking.
Yeah.
The
So I
Timex
didn't. I
watch.
didn't read that because I don't know what that means.
I like it.
Okay.
Okay. So Timex came out and they were a watch, right? And
Okay.
said, look, you don't have to pay a lot of money. And so what they would do in the commercials is they would hit it and they would put it underwater and they would do all this stuff and it says Timex. It takes a licking, but it keeps on ticking.
Okay. They would do crazy
And it was
things like
cheap.
strap a watch to a boat propeller or
Oh
shoot a
yeah.
pen through a piece of wood, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
So it's like a good
And it was
watch because it could get run over by a car and it would still keep ticking.
yep.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and I get this. Same goes for a Mont Blanc pen. You don't need a Mont Blanc pen. That's like a gift. That's like if you work for somebody for 10 years or 20
super
years.
fancy pen. Right.
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
So I get
so
that. That makes sense.
I mean, this just says bottom line, do not fall into the trap of buying a luxury item when you cannot really afford it.
Yep.
Right? Something to
Cool.
think about. Okay, this next one is for me. Oh, hopefully Greg isn't listening. Don't make impulse purchases. Woohoo. Many people who own a timeshare, for example, they bought it because they fell for the line, this offer is only good today. So you think that you have to buy it in that moment, right? But
As soon as I hear that, I don't mean to interrupt you, but as soon as I hear that, I automatically say, no, it's not.
yep.
It would be good tomorrow, and it would be good the next day, and the next day. And because you told me that, I'm not going to buy what you've got.
Yep. So you're smarter than most of us. other than wearing
Uh-huh.
shorts golfing yesterday. But I think the bottom line, resist the urge. Have a checklist you go through before making any purchase that includes the following questions. I should probably tattoo this on my forehead. Do I really need this or do I just want it? Do I need the money for something more important? If I wait 24 hours, would I still make this purchase? Does this purchase fit my overall financial plan? That's pretty good. I'm not going to buy
Yeah.
anything if I read all of those questions, right? Precious is, yeah, she's nodding her head. We're like, no, we're gonna go to the store and buy
And Greg
bananas, and
Good's
that's
going,
it.
yes,
I
yes,
know.
he's rooting you on.
Grig. Yep. So that's something to think about, definitely. All right. Number 8, don't continue to pay for things and services you do not need. A great example is the number of entertainment subscriptions available. Oh my gosh, I think yep, we're nodding in here. We have
Yep,
Hulu Plus, Stars, Netflix, Disney Plus, everything, right? Yep.
yep,
But
yep.
you may not need them,
And the
right?
sad part is they get you by saying, you know, well, we've got this great series coming out, and you're like, well, how
Oh,
much is it going to be though
yes.
if I actually get that? It's only $5 a month.
Oh,
It's
that's
like, you
nothing.
know what?
Yeah,
It's
but when you
not
have a
that bad.
hundred of them, like I do,
Exactly,
right? That's the difference.
exactly.
This is
Yep.
the truth is even though you're paying for all of these channels, you can only watch one at a time, right?
Oh,
So
oh, good for
that's
you.
well, I'm just saying that's good to keep in mind, right? Because we're not watching Disney Plus and Hulu and Stars and although yeah, I'm guilty of this. Gosh, oh no, thank you.
And I got to tell you, some shows though are coming back out.
I know,
You know,
good
right
stuff.
now,
I know, good
and I'm
stuff.
excited about that.
Okay. Number 9, don't replace, repair. Figure out a way to live with what you currently have and only spend money on true emergencies.
Oh,
This I don't
I like it.
really, whether it's your roof, your house, or your car, it is better to repair in most cases than to replace. I would agree with that. I think that's
Yep,
kind of common sense. So, whew. All right.
yep.
One that I'm not guilty of. Thank goodness. All right. Oh, this one is not good. Number 10, don't buy bling. Don't bust your budget buying bling. Stop showing off and put your money where it really matters. Very true.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, especially during a recession, absolutely. You don't need all the, sparkly stuff, right?
Unless,
Oh,
unless
oh, oh.
it's, let's say, a car, a
Okay.
nice car.
Okay.
Okay. And the reason why I say that is because if I drive up to a client's house and I'm in a 1972 Mercury Marquis, right?
You're aging yourself with that, but yeah, I know what that is.
Okay, okay,
A really old
okay.
car. You show
How
up in
about
a
a
really old
how
car.
about a 1997 Pacer, right? If I pull up in that,
Yep.
right? Um, they're going to go, "Have you ever sold
Sold
a
a
house?"
house? My goodness, right?
And so, unfortunately, there are certain things that you have to do to show that you are successful in what you do, right?
Okay.
Because there's no way around not showing that you're successful,
Right.
and yet then going in there and saying I'm successful.
Right. Well, fair
So
enough.
there's certain exceptions to that.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I think
I
the
just
nicer
wanted to
car.
point
I mean, for us, we bought our car recently for safety purposes.
which
For
is gorgeous,
yeah, it is.
by the way.
She is
Yeah,
beautiful. But yeah,
yeah,
with the 900 kids, you want to make sure that
yeah.
we're protecting our investment with the
You
nice car.
you can tell a car is expensive when you call it a she.
I
When
know.
you give it a personality.
We love her.
Um,
Very
yeah.
true.
See that? Yep.
Very true. So I mean, this is a good list. I think it's just when I read this, my first thought was, need versus want, right? Do you need it or do you want it? If you want it, put it on the shelf for a little bit, right? The things that you need for you and your family, that's what you should be putting your money toward, not what you want.
I will tell you that when it comes to me buying certain things, I'll be on Facebook or whatever, and I'll be scrolling down, and something will come up, and I'll go, "It's brilliant! It's brilliant! I've got
Hmm.
to have it," and I'll buy it. And 9 out of 10 times,
Do
I
you
never
use
use
it?
it,
Yep, exactly.
ever.
Right? I know. Well, this is why we have the Judys and the Gregagugs in our life,
Yeah.
right? Because we can ask them like, "Hey, this looks awesome." And they'll say, "No. No, don't buy that.
which
You're
which
silly."
which which I take affront to. I'm like, wait a minute, no, you don't understand, and I'll give a sales pitch. This sounds awesome. I
No.
mean, it's great. And she'll go, yeah, no,
I know
no,
they
not
look
really, no.
they look right through us. That's the problem. We're like, "No, but we need it." Absolutely not. Oh my goodness.
Yep,
All right, so do
yep.
you want to go into some lawsuits or do you want to take a quick break?
Oh no, I think we should take a quick break and then go into the lawsuits.
Lawsuits. All right. Well, while we are all contemplating our spending, stay with us. We will be right back. Hey, and welcome back to Real Estate and Other Stuff on KHTS 1220 AM and 98.1 FM and on Facebook Live. Taylor Williams Moniz here. Phil, our friend on the phone. Gosh, say that 5 times fast. Phil, our friend on the
Yeah,
phone.
your friend on the phone.
My goodness. So,
Yes.
we got a
Yeah.
lot to discuss. I mean, I teased lawsuits, which obviously sickly makes me very happy. But we don't have to start with that.
And I'm impressed. I mean, I'm impressed with that whole thing when it comes to and all that stuff. I love that.
Hey man,
The
it's
fact
what I
that
went
you're
to
so
school
smart.
to do, right? So
I know, that's cool.
I know, but I think we have this article is interesting. The new agent lifesaver, right?
Yep.
What
Yep.
should I
What
be
do I?
doing while waiting
Right.
for my buyer's pre-approval?
Yep.
Okay.
Or
So
what do I do when another agent fails to disclose property defects?
Ooh, that
Oh.
makes me happy. All right, let's get into it.
Okay. What do you do when you find out that the agent on the other side of a transaction has not disclosed major property defects? The answer isn't as easy as you think.
Call me.
So,
No, I'm kidding. That's not what you should do.
yeah,
No,
that's
the
exactly
answer
right.
isn't easy. You're right.
No, all's well that ends well. Well, maybe not in this case.
Right.
One of our readers wrote in asking. Now, this is not for us. This is actually this is an Inman article. So when it's like one of our readers, it's not us. It's one of their readers. Okay,
Right.
one of our readers wrote in asking the big question: what do you do when you find out another agent failed to disclose major issues with the home being sold? It's a touchy legal issue, for sure. But
I'm smiling. You can't see it, but I'm smiling.
Yeah, I'll bet.
It is touchy.
Okay, so they wrote in, said, "Dear Inman Basics team, an agent of mine has accepted an offer on a property with an outside agency. This home has a well on the property. The inspection period has passed. However, the buyers have found out that the well water recently tested poorly, non-drinkable. Okay, you can't drink it,
Yikes.
and the property will need a new well."
Which is
Okay.
spendy. Yep.
They were then given documentation saying that the current seller, who is also a realtor, was made aware of this problem in November 2021. The buyers obviously wanted to deduct the price of a new well, $20,000, from the purchase price.
Yep.
The seller is saying, sorry, not going to happen, but we'll gladly cancel this agreement and refund your earnest money. I know this is more of a legal issue now, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts. I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
I actually think that proposed solution is what I would do. Cancel the contract and give your earnest money back.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, so this we run into this all the time, right? You want to purchase a piece of property because it's unique and you like it and you want it, right? So I can understand from that standpoint that no, they still want the house, but they want to be compensated for the issues with the well. That's when your bigger litigation gets involved. But the fact that the seller had knowledge of it, that's a huge issue. So they're going to have to be held liable for that. I mean, obviously, without me looking at all of the real estate documents, that's kind of my 2 cents based on cases that we have like this all the time.
Yeah. So
Yep.
I'm curious about it. I underlined a couple of things here.
Okay.
I underlined the inspection period had passed. So my question is, why wasn't this picked up during the regular inspection period?
Great question. Yep. That's why in these lawsuits, typically the inspector is a defendant. They're included because hey, you should have picked up on this. Yep.
Yep. And a lot of times, just so that you know, the way I think is a lot of times they will bluff you and say, look, okay, we'll give you your deposit back because they know that they were wronged.
Right.
But they're also thinking, hey, if we do that and we offer them, look, just cancel it. We know you want this property.
Yep.
We know you want it. But just cancel it. Just don't buy the house. Right? So it's an interesting thing because sometimes that's a bluff.
Right. Well,
and they really don't want you to cancel because of the fact that the new buyer is going to find the same thing, and then they really have to disclose it.
Right. Well, especially since this has been brought up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what happens a lot of times is behind closed doors, the two agents talk and go, "Wait a minute, you know what? We
Uh-oh.
want it, and
Uh-oh.
you
Yep.
want to sell it.
How
You're
do we
going to
make it
have
work?
to."
Yep.
Yeah, exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's interesting. But that was kind of an interesting article that I saw,
Do you run into that
and I
frequently?
knew. No. Uh-uh.
Well, that's good.
No, rarely will something come up that the people actually, you could tell that the people actually went out of their way not to disclose.
Right.
Rarely. Trust me, if it ever happens, you're the first person I'm going to call.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah. But I
So,
mean, every house comes with its own issues, right? And there are certain things that are wrong with it, and that's okay. Just disclose it. I mean, that's the great thing about real estate is everything is so unique and independent. If somebody wants to buy it, they'll probably buy it, even if there's an issue with the well, right? They'll fix it.
yep. You
So,
know what's funny is I have an actual presentation for every possible scenario.
but not a
My
well.
No. My presentation when it comes to actually disclosing things from my seller,
Okay.
they say, well, should we say this because
Yes.
this is, and I go, look, here's the situation. I go, you disclose everything, your house will sell. You disclose certain things, and what's going to happen is eventually there's going to be a pounding on your door, and then I actually go and pound on the thing, making
Yep.
it sound like, and then we open the door and they go, "Hi, we have a summons for you because you're being sued."
Yep.
And I go, "And you don't
Good
want
for
that,
you.
and you don't need that."
Nope. You should. Yep.
I go,
That's
"Yeah,
wise
so
advice.
just disclose everything."
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah,
Just yep.
cool.
Be honest. Absolutely. Totally agree.
So, where do you want to go? You want to go Keller Williams, CEO, or you want to
Former
go
Keller
courtholders?
Williams CEO John Davis sues Gary Keller for $300 million. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. So, former Keller Williams CEO John Davis has filed a lawsuit against real estate franchisor Keller Williams and its co founder Gary Keller. And what Davis says is an effort to restore his reputation after sexual misconduct allegations against him surfaced earlier this year and to recover $300 million in damages. So, in the suit, Davis alleges he resigned from Keller Williams because of a disagreement with Keller over a business strategy that he believed would bring in less income to Keller Williams' offices, and that Keller and team responded by smearing him and withholding Dow's accusations from him when he was negotiating the sale of his Keller Williams Market Center regions after his resignation, resulting in tens of millions in financial losses. So, what do you know about this?
Well,
300
it
million
looks.
in damages. I'm saying. I mean, yes, I get to have your name, smeared and besmirched, but my goodness, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's actually crazy.
Yeah.
But okay, so I guess he was having a relationship with someone
Yes.
that actually worked with him, right? From a certain time period, and it was over, right? What he said that he didn't understand is when it came to him negotiating for them to buy him out of his offices, what he said was he didn't understand that the lady had actually made sexual allegations
Harassment claims.
against
Right.
him,
Right.
which
He said it was a
which is
voluntary, consensual, and non-exclusive sexual relationship between the two of them for about 6 years.
6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I guess she's saying, "Oh no," which is. I mean, I know this is touchy, right?
It
It's
is touchy, absolutely.
But what I'm saying is can you actually say 6 years worth of a relationship that way was you see what I'm saying?
I
mean,
do.
it's like
It's a good question. Yep.
that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, oh boy. So anyway, I guess what happened is he ended up selling for a lot less than what it was worth,
Right.
and she went out and got married, right, which is great, good for her. But now he's coming back and saying, "Look, you know what? You guys let me go and didn't pay me enough because of this sexual allegation that
exactly.
never was true."
Right. These false accusations.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
So
I actually
Weird.
I pulled open the complaint because I'm thinking $300 million of damages. I was trying to see exactly how they came to that conclusion, and it wasn't clear in the pleadings. So I don't know if they just pulled that number out, but it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
money. So we'll see.
So
We'll see what happens.
they'll settle. They'll settle. He'll get a couple $1 million and he'll be happy.
Right.
That's what I think, because you know what, especially now that real estate companies aren't making anything.
Right.
It's one of those things. It's like, okay, so how much profit you think you would have made over the next 50 years?
Yeah,
And I
that's
think
how I'm
that's
sure they
probably,
came to that number. It just wasn't clear. But yeah, so we'll just
yeah,
give you a little money to go away and be done with it. So,
yeah.
so we
Hey,
have
why don't we end up?
go
Why
ahead.
don't we end on something that's kind of cute?
Okay.
Dogs' names. They're
Yay.
cute, right?
Yes.
Okay, so top 5 dogs' names for male dogs. What do you think? Can you give me at least one of them?
No.
Anybody?
No.
Anybody in the studio?
No, I stink at this game. Don't.
You
Precious is
too?
shaking her head. No.
No?
No. Do you know
No?
a dog
That's it?
name? Boy dog name.
I don't know. I'd still call
Popular
it
dog name. Anything?
Would
Fluffy.
Fluffy.
I don't have
She said Fluffy.
Fluffy? No, that would be a girl's name.
I'm-
Let's see if Fluffy's on the girl's side. Nope. Okay, so I'm just going to go over.
Rufus.
We're running out of time, right?
Yeah.
Rufus?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dang. No,
no,
I
Rufus
stink
not
at
on
this.
here either.
All right.
How about this number 1 name, Max?
Max. Oh, that's a
Yep.
great name. Okay.
Yep. Number
Max.
2, ready? Charlie.
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 That's
Charlie.
sweet. Okay.
Come here, Charlie.
What about Barkley?
No, Barkley didn't.
Phil's
make the list,
dog's name
but
is
it was
Barkley,
close.
and I keep trying
Number
to steal Barkley, but
Number 5 is Buddy.
Buddy. That's what we
Buddy.
call Cameron, our son. Buddy.
Yeah,
Okay.
Buddy.
Okay.
That's what I call Koa.
Yep.
Little Buddy.
Little
Come here,
Buddy. Yep.
Number 3 is Cooper.
Cooper. I would have not.
Good.
Okay. Would have not thought that.
Okay.
Yep.
And number 4, Milo.
Milo. Nope.
Okay, so now if these are weird to you, you're really going to hate the girl dogs' names.
Okay. I'm ready.
Are we off?
No.
No, we're still on.
We're waiting for the girls' names. We have a whole minute.
Okay, you don't hear what I'm hearing.
Oh, no, I don't. We don't hear anything.
Sorry. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah.
Girls' names. We got a minute.
So what I heard was okay. Number
Ollie-
1, Luna.
Luna. Okay.
Number 2, Bella.
Oh, yeah. My friend Matt has a dog named Bella. Okay. Bella.
Really. Number 3, Daisy.
Daisy. That's sweet.
Number 4, Lucy.
Okay.
Number 5, Lily.
Lily. Nope.
Yep.
My
Nope,
poor
none of
dogs,
those.
Felix and Flynn. Everyone thinks that Felix and Flynn are boys because they have beards and they're just not the most attractive dogs. But we love them, right? So Barkley,
course.
Felix, and Flynn didn't make the list.
Nope. not at
Bummer.
all.
Hey, so as we are closing out, I hope you feel
Yes.
better and sound better. But regardless, you're our favorite real
Well-
estate agent. So if people want to get a hold of you, how do they find you?
All they have to do is get on philnordella.com or call me at 661-312-3561.
Awesome.
How do they get a hold of you?
661-259-9000 or dywlaw.com.
By the way, just so that you know, everybody that I've ever sent to you loves you.
Oh, love it. Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
we got to go, but thank you everybody for listening. Feel better. We'll be back next week.